Welcome students. In the building materials construction and planning, we have seen completed finishings, damp proof and waterproof materials, uses, plastering, pointing, whitewashing, distempering, and also we saw about the paints, constituents of paints, type of paints, painting of new old wood. This class we will see about the formworks and the scaffoldings. So what is a formwork? All of you know, to keep the entire concrete in position, we have to go for a formwork. So formwork is a temporary or permanent mold into which concrete or similar materials are poured. Mostly to keep everything in position, to have a particular shape, we go in for this formwork. Right? In the context of concrete construction, the false work supports the shuttering and mold, I call it as the formwork. Right? This I call it as the formwork. So that next we will see the actual definition. Formwork or shuttering is a temporary construction used as a mold for structure in which concrete is placed and in which hardens and matures. Right? So we will not be remove this formwork until concrete is hardened. Okay, unless concrete is hardened, we will not remove the formwork. Okay. So for this that it consumes a lot of time and material. So if you go and see now if you are having concreting tomorrow, the whole night they will be putting the formwork, they will be checking whether it is right, everything. If the formwork is going wrong, the shape of the thing that is the construction material, that is the components will go wrong. Right? So they will be very careful and they will be very particular in fixing the formwork. So the construction of formwork requires a lot of time and material. And cost of formwork is 20 to 25% of the cost of the building. Right? So you can see here. So if a building cost is, for construction of beams, columns, walls is very easy. But go for plastering, distempering, painting, piping, then electrical fitting, then going in for this thing will be very costly. Internal, interior designs, outerior, exterior designs may be around 30%. Apart from this, formwork will be taking 20 to 25% of the total cost. If I am having 10 lakh building, mean 2.5 lakhs go in for this formwork. Right? So when required strength of concrete is achieved, formwork is removed. So when the sufficient strength is achieved by the concrete members, for example beams or columns, then we will be removing this formwork. Operation of removal of formwork is called as stripping. Removal of formwork we call it as the stripping. Removed component of formwork is reused for another construction. So it is a material which can be reused. Mostly it is made up of any timber or any material, so which they will be using it for the next building. Such forms whose components are used many times are called as panel forms. Which are reused many times, we call it as a panel forms. Forms made of non-standard structures which cannot be used again are called as stationary forms. Which can be reused again and again, we call it as a panel forms. Which cannot be reused again, it can be used only once, I call it as a stationary form. So what is the requirement of a formwork? So first one, it should be strong, it should be rigidly constructed and efficiently propped and braced, it should be leakage proof. The construction of formwork should permit removal of various parts of desired sequences without damaging the concrete. Without damaging the concrete, without deforming the concrete, without making any disturbances to the concrete, the formwork should be constructed. The material of the formwork should be cheap, easily available, should be suitable for reuse. This is very, very important. So for every building I am going to have only one formwork, I am going to throw it away now, then it will be of uneconomical cost. So everything should be cheap, easily available, should be suitable for reuse. To be set accurately of the desired lines and levels. The line as light as possible, as strong as possible. It should be strong as well as it should be light, right? It should be strong and also it should be light. The material of the formwork should not warp. Warp means it itself should not disturb. It should not go away from its original shape, distort or get distorted when exposed to the elements. If it is distorted, the elements will also get distorted. It should firmly rest on the base. And a good formwork should satisfy the following requirements. What are the requirements? I told now it is the material formwork should be cheap and can be reused. It should be waterproof. It should not absorb water. Once it is absorbed water, it undergoes a distortion and warping. From concrete, shrinkage and swelling should be minimum. It should be strong enough to take all the loads coming on it, both the dead load of the concrete, the live load of the peoples that are walking, that is the dead load, live load of the laborers. Okay? The peoples that are walking along the concrete, everything, that and all, it should be able to take. A good formwork should be able to take the dead weight of the concrete. When I am pouring the concrete, there is a weight that I will be giving. The concrete, when it is stagnant there for hardening, it will also have some weight, right, and labor. And pouring, compaction and curing. It should be stiff enough so that the deflection should be minimum or negligible. The deflection should be negligible. It should be as light as possible also. It should be strong. Surface of formwork should be smooth for easy stripping. Mostly they are going for oiling the internal surface by which the stripping can be easy. All joints of formwork should be stiff so that lateral deformation of the load is minimum. Joint should be leak proof. It should be leak proof. It should not absorb water, and also it should be stiff so that this lateral movement will not be there. The movement will not be there. So the next way I will go in for the types of formwork. So we saw what is a formwork. And we saw what are the characteristics of formwork, what is the requirement of formwork, required characteristics. Now we will go what is it made up of. Number one, timber. You can see here, even for very major buildings you go for a formwork with the timbers. The next one, it is plywood. So the plywood mostly it is used, but plywood is very costly compared to the timber, but it gives you a very good finish, very perfect finish compared to the wooden material. The third one, it is steel. So the steel formwork, it is used for major construction, right? It can be withstand major load without any distortions, warping. Warping will be there in timber and the plywood. There warping will not be there, and it cannot be distorted easily. It can take a load. It cannot be deflection. Will be very less. So we go for steel. And some case nowadays we are going in for aluminium or the composite of aluminium. Easy for stripping. So the stripping is very easy, the aluminium, then we can use it, reuse again and again for other purpose. So in many cases they are using this aluminium. Then precast concrete or fiberglass used separately or in combination. So this is a precast. Precast means casted somewhere in the site and brought to the site for fitting. Okay, so the formwork will be of what is the length and breadth you needed. Like that they make a formwork and they bring it to the site and fix it. This makes the construction very that is economically. Economically we use the time by using the precast formwork. And also we have a fiber formwork. You can see this is a fiberglass formwork. We can go and take it and we can fix it and we can go in for the concreting. So we will see only two types. One is wooden formwork or timber formwork and the steel formwork in detail. So what is it? It is the most common, and what are the disadvantages? That warping will be there, absorption of moisture. Due to the moisture absorption, it will swell, right? Okay, now shrinkage will also be there. Once moisture is removing, then it will shrink. So shrinkage and expansion and shrinkage will be much more. Water impermeable coating on wood formwork is applied to reduce warping, swelling and shrinkage. Okay. So that the impermeable coating shuttering can be removed easily. So this is a wooden formwork. Steel shuttering is used for major work. As I told you, it will not undergo a warping, it will not undergo a distortion. So mostly we are going in for use of this steel formwork. It can be put use for high number of times. Any number of times you can reuse. So that is we can use steel, and it provides ease of stripping. So easily we can remove the mortar or concrete will not attach with the steel layer. If it is oiled properly, it will not attach with the steel layer. It gives smooth and even concrete surface. Right? The distortion is very less. The deflection is very less. So it gives a very smooth and even concrete surface. It possesses high rigidity. It is stiff. Right? Rigidity is nothing but it is very stiff. Okay? And it is not liable to shrinkage and distortion similar to that of timber. It is very costly compared to the timber. You can see major constructions like this are complicated construction. Major construction or a complicated construction like this, we can go in for a steel formwork which can give you a very good finish. The work will be very good, right? So what is it to comparison? Steel forms are stronger, durable, have longer life than timber formwork and their reuse is high in number. And steel forms can be installed and dismantled with greater ease and speed. So it can be easily installed and also easily it can be dismantled. It can be stripped easily without having the mortar or concrete attaching to the layers. The quality of exposed concrete surface by using steel form is good and such a surface need no further treatment. You can see here the quality of exposed concrete surface by using steel forms is very good. Right? Okay, and such a surface, no extra treatment like the extra concrete has to be stripped off like that. Nothing is necessary. It will give a very smooth, perfect finish. Steel formwork does not absorb moisture in concrete, so it will not undergo no warping, no distortion. No warping, no distortion. Okay now. Steel formwork does not shrink at warp. And what is the next thing is the main thing of cleaning and treatment of formwork. If the formwork is not cleaned properly and if you have some mortar, old concrete that is fixed to the internal surface. Again when I am going to use that concrete, what will happen? That concrete will disturb the new concrete and there will be some distortion, holes will be there. There may be some concrete layer may be disturbed, everything will be there. All rubbish, particularly chippings, shavings and sawdust can be removed by the interior of the form before the concrete is placed. Whatever it is there inside that has to be cleaned, all foreign matters has to be cleaned and it has to be properly oiled. The face of the formwork in contact with the concrete should be cleaned and treated with the release agent. Release agent will be mostly a crude oil will be applied. Okay, now release agent should be applied so as to provide thin uniform coating to the forms without coating the reinforcement. It should not be applied so much that it will disturb the reinforcement or it will disturb the concrete colors. It should be mild and it should not disturb the concrete. It should only be used for easy stripping and it should not have all foreign matter should be removed. Okay. So what is the Indian standard form of formwork? So in IS 456/1964, this IS code, it is the Indian standard code for the plain and reinforced concrete structures. Nowadays IS 456/2000 has come, but only IS 456/1964 gives the guidelines for the formwork. So we will see as per IS code what are the guidelines. So the formwork shall conform to the shape, lines and dimension as shown in the plans. Shall be rigid and placing and compacting the concrete, watertight to prevent loss of water from the concrete. These are the main general requirement of the concrete formwork as per IS 456. Next one, cleaning and treatment of work. All the chipping, sawdust and what are the extra matters that is attaching to the internal surface which is close contact with the concrete should be removed. Okay. The next one, stripping time. So the stripping time is removal of hard work time. The formwork time is formwork should be removed until good strength has come. If the structural members attaining a very good strength, then the formwork can be removed. For example, vertical walls and column, it will take 16 to 24 hours. Soffit of the slab 3 days. Soffit of the beam, it will take 7 days. Slab span greater than less than 4.5 meters, it is 7 days. Greater than 4.5 meters, it is 7 days. Beam greater less than 6 meters, it is 14 days. greater than 6 meters, it will take 21 days. These are the removal stripping of, that is stripping time of formwork as per IS 456. So procedure when removing how to strip the formwork or remove the formwork. A formwork should be removed without giving so much of shock or vibration to the concrete. If I am going to give some shock or vibration to the concrete, if I am going to putting hammer everything to remove it now, it will disturb the concrete and initiate some cracks in the concrete. So in the meantime, this concrete will also get damaged. Before the soffit means the bottom surface, right? The bottom surface, and the studs are removed and concrete shall be exposed to check that the concrete has sufficiently hardened. So we first remove the bottom surface to know whether the concrete has sufficiently hardened, then slowly we will remove one part. Proper precautions shall be taken to allow for decrease in the rate of hardening in cold water. Next one, it is a camber. Camber means if I am having a road now, the road will be like this, okay? So mostly all the roads are not slope like this. The road will have a small slope like this, okay? You know, for the this what is happening? Discharge of drain to waters or other things. This top portion I call it as the camber. To design a given form, an upward camber to ensure that beams do not sag when they have taken up their deflection. So sufficient camber should be given, a small thing should be given so that the beam will be attached in position. It should be done only when allowed in design calculation of the beam tolerances. So that formwork should be constructed that the internal dimension are within the permissible tolerance are specified by the designer. The formwork has to take the following load. Live load of the labor that they have to go, they have to fix the formwork, they have to pour the concrete, they have to compact the concrete. Again and again they will be going here and there, so it has to take the live load of the labors, weight of the wet concrete, pouring pressure, weight of the concrete, how much pressure we are giving in pouring, hydrostatic pressure of the fluid concrete acting against the vertical or inclined faces of the form. Right? Hydrostatic pressure, that is having the concrete having pressure now, that an impact during. That is, I told you now that for concreting purpose we will not pour like softly like this. We pour in a very great force that has to be taken care by the, formwork has to take care. Live loads of labor and equipment including impact may be taken as 370 kg per meter square. And hydrostatic pressure of the fluid of concrete depends on quantity of water in the concrete, size of aggregate, rate of pouring and temperature. This has to be withstood by the formwork, and also setting time may be taken as half to half number, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Only height of concrete poured in 45 minutes to 1 hour is taken into account for calculation of hydrostatic pressure. So if for 1.5 meter of concrete, equivalent weight of concrete may be taken it as 2000 kg per meter cube. Okay, so these are all about the pressure or the load that has to be taken by the formwork. Next we will see about the difference between the formwork, shuttering, centering and staging and scaffolding. So these are the names, mostly it will be interconnected and it will get confused, right? Formwork, shuttering, centering, staging, scaffolding. All are temporary arrangements on the site to hold the concrete, to place the concrete in its position. First we will see the formwork. We are seeing again and again. It is a temporary structure which is used as a mold to pour the concrete. It is a vertical and a horizontal member made to keep concrete in position. Both it can be a horizontal, vertical member, or it can be horizontal member which will happen to hold the concrete together. Shape of the column of bridge in the image to bring the concrete in such a shape is all possible by formwork. So any shape, you can see here this shape. Right? Or I have to go for this shape. Any shape I can be done with the help of this formwork. So if I am going to pour concrete in this formwork, the concrete will go and stick onto it and form that shape, that form. To bring the particular form we are going to work, we call it as a formwork. The design mold is prepared using steel, iron or then Formwork is fixed in position without any gaps to pour the concrete. The next one, it is the shuttering. Shuttering is the derivation of the formwork, or we call it as one of the part of the formwork, but mostly the vertical formwork we call it as the shuttering. So it is to bring the desired shape. Formwork, the technical point of view, formwork or columns and footings or retaining walls is called as the shuttering. Mostly you can see here, this I call it as the shuttering. Centering. So with this we call it as the temporary arrangement or part of the formwork which is arranged to support the horizontal members. We can see here now, to support the horizontal members we have the centering beam. In technical point of view, the formwork of floor beams and slab is called as the centering. So the formwork that is used to hold the slab or the floor slab, we call it as the centering purpose. Okay, all these things, the entire arrangement I call it as the centering, which hold the floor slab or the slab, roof slab in its position. Staging. Staging is a temporary member which is used to support the formwork. So for example, if I am going for a formwork like this now, this I will have this one to keep the support the formwork, but I call it as the staging. It is done by props, jacks, extended cab system and wooden frames. Scaffolding is a place where it is properly arranged so that the person can stand and they can work. All the things this is not a form of part of formwork, but it helps the persons to stand and work, so that the load that is acting on the members will be diverted and they can comfortably stand and work without causing any damage to the concrete member. Right? Scaffolding is provided as a workers' platform. Mostly it is called as a workers' platform, and the building to work at height scaffolding is a movable or fixed platforms. Now we will going to see the formwork for or shuttering or formwork for different members. Okay. So first we will go in for the column. It consists of sheeting all around the column periphery, side works or end works, wedges, bolts with mortars. So this is a rectangular thing. So here this is the actual column. I go for sheeting, that I go for the extra formwork. Above the formwork I have, not to move the formwork I have two side beams that is catched with the bolt and nut. Okay, I have bolts and nuts that is there. So this I call it as the end of the yoke. This I call it as the wedge beam. Okay. So this is for an octagonal column. So octagonal column, this is the sheething, this is the yoke, and this is the wedge beam. Right here you can see here the wedge beam. It will all this arrangement will act as a single unit so that the column, that the concrete that is placed will not get distorted. Next you can see it is for a circular beam. This is for a octagonal beam, rectangular beam. This is for a circular beam. All the beams will have a bolt and nut that is connected. The formwork will be connected, and we have a sheathing by which the concrete will be mostly poured. So this is a formwork you can see. Column formwork that is there. So the next one, shuttering for the beams and slab floor. So you can see here for the beam for the slab floor, it is continuous over number of bricks. The slab supported on 2.5 cm thick sheathing laid parallel to main beams. The sheathing is supported on wooden battens which are laid between the beams at suitable spacing. In order to reduce deflection, the battens may be propped at middle of the span through joists. The side forms of the beam consist 3 mm thick sheathing. The bottom sheathing of the beam form may be 5 to 7 cm. So these are the things as per the IS code. And the end of the battens are supported on ledger which are fixed to cleared angle sections throughout the length. The cleats are of 10 cm, 2 cm by 3 cm are fixed to the forms of the same spacing as that of the battens, so that battens may be fixed to them. The beam form is supported on a head tree. The shore or post is connected to head tree 2 cleats. At the bottom of the shore, 2 wedges of hardwood are provided over the sole piece. So this is the entire system you can see for a beam or a column. So this is a beam structure. This is a slab. This is slab. This is beam. Okay. So this is the sheathing for the slab. This is the sheathing for the beam. The beam is running like this. Okay, the beam is running like this. So what they will do? We will have one set of this supporter like that. This is the entire formwork system. It will have braces are there. It will have a clear triangle here. It will have braces here, right? Which will be allowed to keep the formwork in position. In the center I will have a batten. Batten is a small joist of wooden beam. Small joist of wooden beam which is connected to the foam port. These are called as a sole plate which will fix it firmly to the ground, and this is how the formwork is laid. So here this all will support this formwork, right? The formwork will be supported, so the concrete will be poured here and it will be compacted. Okay now? So different parts you can see here. So the same thing it is given in a line diagram. You can see here. This is also another line diagram which gives almost all the technical details. You can see this is a original formwork that is. This is also a formwork for the beam. This is a centering requirement, centering for a formwork or a slab floor, and this is the actual formwork, that is wooden formwork that is made. These are the centering, these are the formworks, right? Going for the stairs. So the stairs is of not a vertical member or a horizontal member, it is a slopy member. It is supported on raking ledges. Okay, ledger is 7.5 by 10 centimeter, cross joist of 5 meter and 10 centimeter, riser planks are 4 to 5 centimeter, planks are beveled at bottom to permit the pole of the thread face. So here you can see here. You can see this is the thread, this is the rise. Okay, these are all the rise. So the formwork will be such that it will be like this, okay, so that the concrete can be poured into it. All the formworks will be connected with this ledger, cut strings, ribbon and the strut. Here you can see, so here strut is a slopy small column members which will hold the formwork in position. Here also it is one of the simplest way you can see. Then the walls. So walls are this easily it can be done, but with the help of a wall form, right? Okay. So what are the defects in the formwork? These are the things it can be in the wall. When we go for a fixing of formwork, it can be either due to the movable form or it can be due to the stationary form. Mostly nowadays they are having the movable formwork for the walls. So defects in the concrete formwork system. Common defects due to imperfect design and construction practice. Not actually, the beam may be here. The beam may be of 3 meters. Okay. So we will have a small plank only for 2.5 meters. Then what I will do, I will have the formwork for 2.5 meters with one material. Then another material I will have from here. So what happens now? This part will be porous and it will not give you a very good finish. And the bolt and nut will not be having so much of tight because again and again it is used. But we won't be taking bother into it. That is also will be one of the defect. And sufficient allowance for the uplift of the concrete, the sagging of the concrete in the case of the beam will not be provided. What happens then? This will spoil the formwork and the concrete also, the shape will also get spoiled. Different load distribution between 2 or more members that support the column board. So if there is a this beam is to be supported now, I have to have equal centering, equal formwork to carry the weight. If I am going to keep it as a heavy member, this I am going to keep it as a light member. What happens? This will get distorted due to the weight. So you can see here, this is all the formworks that is there. Okay. So here you can see one type of formworks and everything is shown here. So next one, defects in foundation level of formwork system. Sole plates. That is, sole plates is nothing but this thing, sole plates. This which fixes the formwork firmly to the ground. I call it as a sole plate. Sole plates are not in the leveling part. And crushing of sole plates because of insufficient distribution of load from horizontal and vertical members. Poor load carrying capacity of the ground under sole plate. Deterioration of the load carrying capacity of the ground, instances washing ground. And supports are out of plumb, insufficient bracing of scaffold, bearing plates, insufficient lateral ties, everything, right? So if there is not a proper uniform distribution of the load is there, the sole will get spoiled, it will be distracted, it will be crushed, everything. If the load that is carried by this member is not properly designed, the soles are not properly designed, this will happen. The fourth one is the defects in horizontal support of formwork system. Insufficient supports to cantilever, inadequate bearing area to vertical supports or underside of main members lead to the crushing. Folding wedges cut too harsh to taper, not properly cleated, cut from wet material. Okay now. So in this class we have seen about the formwork, what are the different materials used to do formwork, what are the requirements of formwork, what are the characteristics of formwork, and we saw about the how to have a formwork for the beam, column, walls, staircases, and now we also saw about what are the defects of formwork in the concrete formwork system, what are the common defects in the concrete formwork system, and also we saw about the difference between the formwork, shuttering, centering, staging, and also scaffolding. Okay, this several we have seen what is the difference, and with this I end the formwork and we will see about the next unit, next topic. Thank you. Sir, second part.